So welcome to day 4 of the 5-day challenge. I'm going to go live over here in the Facebook group as well. I hope you guys are doing your work, your assignments. You remember I gave you guys some things to do via day 1 and day 2. And we are hitting it live over on Facebook. All right, there we go. So we're live in both places. Make sure you guys can see me. So welcome to day 4 of the 5-day challenge. Audacity to a profit first. No more sloppy seconds for you. So I'm teaching you all about how to start paying yourself first consistently, as well as banking more profits. So welcome to day 4. Just making sure my Facebook Live got me. It looks funny. Okay, so I hope you guys can see me okay. All right, so you know me, we're going to dive straight into the content because we're on day 4. You can definitely go back and watch the replays if you missed anything. All you have to do is sign up for the challenge. You get the replays. Also, they are available over in the Facebook group, Game Changers Lounge, which is where the after party actually happens. So you can go check that out. So don't worry if you missed anything. It kind of all ties together, yes, but each piece is individual in the content itself and the actions that you need to take. All right, so with that being said, let's dive in. Today we're talking about what to get really good at so that you can start paying yourself consistently. So here's the things that you need to get good at. So you ready? Ready over there on Facebook Live? All right, so make sure you have pencil and paper ready to jot this down and then take action on it. All right, so the first thing you need to get really good at is tracking your money. And I'm not talking about just your expenses, right, or your income. I'm not talking about one piece, I'm talking about both. You need to track your money flow. And the money flows what? Into your business via income and out of your business via expenses. You have to track both. How do you do that? You have receipts. If you say, for example, say you go to the store, you purchase something, then you have receipts, right? Or some stores, they'll let you get them emailed to you. But however that happens for you, if you have a receipt, you got to come up with a system to keep up with the receipts so that when it's time to post them into your accounting system, you have them. So here's a quickie on what to do with those receipts. So you go to the store, you're out and about, you're getting receipts, or you're at a conference over so many days, whatever, but you're getting receipts for things that you're purchasing, right? Get an envelope, a simple envelope, and label it, for example, September 2016. This is exactly what I do. And then just take your receipts and throw them in there. Now, I kind of keep mine in some type of order in that I always put the newest ones towards the back. So that's just my thing. But as long as they're compiled in the envelope, that's the most important thing, so that you have them in one place, all of your physical receipts. Okay? So that's the first thing you need to do. Invoices. Some things come electronically now, via email, which is awesome. You need to track those too. You got to have them in a place so that you know where to go look when it's time to post. And the important thing here, and why you're doing this, is because when it's time to post, you don't want to miss anything. I have a lot of people that miss things, and what happens is it affects your taxes. So maybe if you forget some of those expenses, right, and you don't have the receipts for them, well, guess what? You're going to pay more in taxes because you're not deducting all of your expenses. Who wants to do that? I don't. So you want to track that. So if it comes in electronically, here's what I do. I use Gmail, and I set up a folder that says accounting, right? Within that folder, I set up another folder that says the 12 months of the year, January, February, March, all the way down through December. So what happens is any electronic receipts, whether it's a receipt for, like, say, my ConvertKit or my Squarespace, a receipt like that, it goes into, for this month, it would go into September, so it would go under accounting, and then September, and in there would be ConvertKit, Squarespace receipts, because it's done automatically. We're talking about automating, saving time, right? Now, when I get invoices or payments for clients, I will get, if they pay via PayPal, I'll get a PayPal notification, same thing. I put it in that September folder, right? Now, for me, I also like to put it in two places, so I'll also put it in my client folder for them as well, just so that if I'm in their folder, I can look and see when they made their last payment. So, but with that being said, you can set it up to even automatically do some of that. So you can have it automatically tag it what you want it to be. And you can have it automatically go to the folder. I like to see my stuff. So I don't set mine up to automatically go to the folder, but I do have it labeled, for example, accounting. And I don't put it by month because every month you would have to change it. But at least it can hit the accounting folder, and then I can move it, add that extra tag when I need to, as well as I can add the client tag. But at least it tags it and tells me it should go in accounting, which means, okay, it has something to do with money. Let me pay attention to that. All right, so that's how you can handle your electronic documents. And the same thing with contracts or anything else that coincides with your business. You need to track those as well and have them in a centralized place so that when you get ready to post, you have that information. So say with your clients, if you're a coach and you do a 90-day program and you have a contract and things like that, and the contract says that, I don't know, they're going to pay $500 a month over the 90 days. So that means every month they have to pay you $500. Well, you need that information for when you go into your accounting system to set them up for the first time. So you need to have somewhere centralized where you'll have that information. So when you go in to post, you have it. So what I'm doing is I'm telling you things here in the tracking process that'll save you time later on down the road when it's time to start posting your transactions. Because I don't like to get ready to post and then I have to go find everything. When I get ready to post, when I open up, for me, I use QuickBooks Online. When I open up QuickBooks Online, I have everything I need to post for that month. Okay? So that's what you want to do there. So that's the important thing. Number one is to track your money. You're tracking your inflow and your outflow. A lot of it is automated, yes, but you still need the documentation in order to post it to your accounting system. And here's the thing. If you're syncing your bank account, that's cool. And that's a conversation for another day because it's some good and bad to that. But if you're syncing your bank accounts, you still need the backup documentation, right? So you still have to track it and compile it, as I just shared with you guys here briefly. Uh-oh, I may have to get my plug. Okay, so that was number one. Number two, let's talk about actually posting the transactions, okay? So actually posting the transactions, this is where a lot of people mess up because you have to analyze the transactions. And sometimes it gets a little bit sticky, so you have to learn how to do that. Some things are pretty cut and dry. Like I said, if you're using, say, Squarespace or ConvertKit, you might put that to advertising or marketing, right? A category, something like that. Pretty simple. But here's where a lot of people mess up with is, one, the categorizing of transactions as they're inputting them into their accounting system. And when I'm talking about accounting system, just so you know, I'm talking about QuickBooks Online, QuickBooks Desktop. You could be using Wave, Xerox, whatever accounting system you're using. That's what I'm talking about. All right, you want to categorize. And a lot of people, they don't categorize correctly or they don't categorize at all. So now you're not getting the true financial picture of your business and where your money is actually going. That is a step in the setup process that a lot of people skip. All right, so here's an example of what I'm talking about, being able to analyze a transaction and know where to post it. More times than not, I see people posting, how do I want to say this? When they say, so you're just starting out in business, your business is not making enough money for you, right? So you have to personally fund your business until it's able to stand on its feet itself. That's usually how it works. So with that, a lot of times people will post that money coming in as income. Right? Because they don't know where else to put it. All they know is there's money coming into the business, but it's not really income, right? What it really should be is you loaning your business some money. And we call that a notes payable. Okay? So that's really what it should be. You should be loaning your business that money. So later on, when the business starts making money, you can start paying yourself back. So instead of having to initially start taking out payroll or paying yourself, right? Owner's draw, payroll, right? You can take that money back and start paying it back to you via that notes payable that you had set up. All right. So in that regard, you don't have to pay taxes on it. tax saving tip just dropped for you. All right, so that's one of the things. So you need to be really, really clear on that. And what did I want to say? Oh, let me tell you this. So remember, we were talking about tracking your money. So some other tools you can use is HubDoc. You can check that out. Evernote and QuickBooks. And then Wave has some capabilities as well, like with your receipts and things like that. Some things you can on the go, like upload it, right, and automatically to that particular software so that you have it already captured. So in the real time moment type thing, just depending on what you're using. And we're going to talk more about workflows tomorrow. So make sure you come back. So I'm going to give you the complete workflow of what I do and how I work with my clients. So how cool, right? But that's just some things you can check out. All right. And here's the other thing. If you're feeling what I'm sharing with you, why don't you go share it? Share it with your peeps. You know, if you have other people in business that you associate with or in your different groups and things like that, and you figure they need to know some more about this money stuff, you know, as it relates to bookkeeping, paying themselves and banking more profits, share this. I'd appreciate that. You know, you can share it via Twitter, whatever social media site. If you're on Periscope, you can definitely share it right there by just swiping left or right, up and down. You can share it on Twitter. You can share it on Facebook, right? Via that link. You can also share it on your other social media sites. And let me give you the link really, really quickly. It is bit.ly/pay profit first. So it's bit.ly/pay profit first. So share it. That would be awesome. Appreciate that. And moving on. Well, let's recap real quick before I go to number 3. So number 1, we shared about tracking your money. I gave you various ways to track the physical documents as well as electronic, right? I gave you some options of software you can use as well. Talked about that. Number 2, we talked about posting of your transactions, how important that is to be able to analyze them correctly, as well as categorize them so that you can see the true financial picture of your business, as well as posting that one piece about paying yourself, right? That is really, really important. Can save you a lot of money at tax time. So number 3 is all about the workflow. Now, again, we're going to get deep into the workflow tomorrow, just talking about the workflow period. But I want to touch on it today just to tell you what you need to have in place and what you need to start thinking about as it relates to your workflow. So 1, you have to look at how you're going to compile your information. So you want to write this down because this is your workflow you need to have in place, right? How are you going to compile your documentation, your information, right? Electronically as well as physical documents. How are you going to compile it? Where are you going to file it at? How long will you keep it? All that type of stuff. Where will it be when you need it? The second thing is, what will you use? Now we're talking about resources. We're talking about software. What are you going to use? If you're not in an accounting system, I told you earlier this week, get into one ASAP, as soon as possible. And if you need help with that, reach out to me. hello@FeliciaStreeter.com. Someone on my team will get you set up to talk with me about that, okay? But you need to get into an accounting system ASAP. Can you say that with me? ASAP. It's going to make your life a whole lot easier. It's going to save you time and money. All right, so what could you get into? Accounting-wise, you have QuickBooks Online, you have Wave, you have FreshBooks, and most of coaches are in one of those 3. Ideally, some are in Xerox. There's some others out there as well, but the majority are either QuickBooks Online or Wave. But you have other options as well, okay? They all work to some degree. QuickBooks is a stellar program in that it has more capabilities as well as far as job costing, tracking inventory, and things like that. And some of the freer versions of accounting softwares do not have that capability. So if you're like in an Etsy shop or you're selling a lot of products, or books, and you want to keep track of your inventory, then you want to probably look at something like a QuickBooks, okay, for one. And there's others, you can check them out, but that's just one I recommend more often than not. All right. The third thing you want to look at is how often are you going to post? Now, remember, you're compiling the information as it comes in, so that part is as it happens. But when are you going to go into that accounting system and actually post the transactions? You need to make a decision on that. I generally do mines and my clients when they're caught up. A lot of them come to me behind, so we have to do some catch up. But ideally, if you're caught up, and what I do with my own books is usually around the 15th of the month, depending on what day that falls on, then I'll do my books at that point. So, and ideally I'll do mine on a Thursday or Friday. So if the 15th falls on a Monday, I'll do it that week, that Thursday or Friday kind of thing, right? And the same thing with my clients. I take after the 15th that week, and usually I can get most of my clients' books done as long as they're caught up, okay? So when are you going to do your books? Write that down right now. Make a decision. Make the decision, right? Make the decision quick, and then make the decision right. So decide what day of the month are you going to do your books. Fourth thing, deciding on your accounting system. You need to make a decision. Do some research, check it out. Come talk to me if you need some help in deciding. You can come over in the Facebook group and ask. All right. It's called Game Changers Lounge. Over there you can ask, you know, which accounting system is best for you based on your situation, and you can kind of give me a little bit of information, and we can kind of help you decide which accounting system to get into. Also, you need to think about what supporting systems you're going to use, because you're going to need some type of supporting systems as well, especially if you want to do more of it virtually. If you're looking at maybe outsourcing it at some point, getting yourself a bookkeeper like me, right? Something like that. Usually my clients, I have the system, supporting systems already set up that we can use, so you don't have to worry about that. But if you're going to do it for yourself, you need some supporting systems, because where are you going to store those receipts, right? Things like that. And I gave you some tracking ideas when we talked about step number 1. So you need to decide what are you going to use for your supporting systems. HubDoc, Evernote. You can use Google Drive. I mean, there's a variety of things. What systems are you in that you can use that'll work for you already, or do you need to get into a new system? I love Trello. Love it, love it, love it. So if you need some recommendations there as well, join the after party over in the Facebook group, Game Changers Lounge, and I can give you some advice there. Fifth thing. Or maybe this is number 6 because I added, yep. Okay, so number 6 then maybe. I already said that, I'm sorry. When you're gonna post, and when you're posting, don't forget the other piece to reconcile. So you gotta reconcile your accounts to make sure what you put in is correct, because you know you can transpose numbers. You might miss something, but it hit the bank account, but you didn't have the receipt. That's why it's important to keep that information. So if you go to reconcile and it's out of balance, something's missing. And that's, you know what? That's a whole nother conversation and training in and of itself, because when you're out of balance, yeah, that's the task. Okay, so but you want to make sure you reconcile. Once you reconcile, right, you want to pull your financial reports. There's 3 key financial reports you need to pull every month. Not once a quarter, not every 6 months, but every month. Let's go. Write them down. You need your profit and loss statement. And I've showed you on day 1 and day 2 how important that was, because we pulled some numbers. I've had you guys bring your numbers to that actual live training, and I told you what to do with them to figure out how much you should be paying yourself. Yeah. So go back and watch it if you missed it. So you see how important that profit and loss statement is. It is a game changer for planning. If you want to plan ahead in your business and you don't like to be reactive and you want to be proactive, game changer. So you need to pull that. You need to pull your balance sheet as well as your cash flow statement. Those are the top 3. Profit and loss statement, balance sheet, cash flow statements. All right. And it's a lot of information that you can pull for that. And if you pull them, you can kind of look and see what some of the information is telling you. All right. And there again, there's another training I can do, right? I have to do a training on that. Okay. The next thing you want to make sure you have set up, and once you set this part up, it'll automatically happen for you. And you'll just have to go back in and track this. You want to automate your transfers to pay yourself. And you can't really make sure it's on track unless you're running your financials every month. Remember, we figured out the percentages, but once a quarter, you have to kind of look and make sure those percentages are correct. And we talked about that in the previous video, so you can go back and watch that. But you want to make sure that's on tap. So quarterly, you got to look at that, and it should be automated. So what I'm saying by automated is I suggested that, you know, you can set it up your bank account, so every time you receive income into your business, it'll automatically transfer it into a separate checking account, which I told you yesterday to set up. for your owner's pay. So when it's time to pay yourself, the money is already sitting there and you've automated it. Ta-da! Right? No problems. Okay. And the last thing, if you didn't do this already, that's included in your workflow is deciding when you're going to actually pay yourself. I gave you a couple suggestions on days you can do that. You can go back and watch the previous live streams to get that information. And so let's recap this workflow in case you missed something. So here's your workflow, things you want to consider, things you want to include in your workflow for your bookkeeping, accounting, interchangeably, same thing, right? Your accounting and bookkeeping process. 1, compiling your information. How are you going to do that? 2, what will you use? What accounting system are you going to use? What supporting software are you going to use to compile, hold your documents, right? How often are you going to post? I hope you just said at least monthly. And I would suggest starting out monthly. You know, I may do mine more real time, but it doesn't take me long. I know what I'm doing. But for you, I would say at least start out doing it monthly, right? You also want to think about when you're going to post and reconcile. Pick a day of the month, right? So that you're consistent and you have it calendared in and you make sure it happens and you don't look up and, you know, every time you say you're going to do it, something else come up. You're working with clients, you get busy, it don't happen. And the next thing you know is 2017 and 2016 didn't get done yet. That's the reality of a lot of my clients right now. They come to me, it's what, mid, and even now, I mean, you have to, the extension date is October 15th. You got to get it filed. And they're coming to me now. We got to do all of 2015. So we're talking 12 months. You don't want that to be you. The price is the price, and it's not cheap, right? And it's going to cost you, you know, but you could pay it out in installments if you do it monthly. Or if you wait to the last minute, you do the math, 12 months of bookkeeping, what will it cost you? And you're going to have to pay it all at one time. Or if you're doing it yourself, you know, and it's already stressful for you, you wait to the last minute, it's really going to be stressful and you got to get it done. So don't do that. Set a date. When are you going to do your books? When are you going to post and reconcile? Set a date. And how about this? Go over in the Facebook group under the video and share with me. Tell me these things. When are you going to post? Let's talk about what software you're going to use. What accounting system are you going to use? What is supporting documentation you're going to use, right? Share that stuff. Okay, what date are you actually going to pay yourself? Share that information. Let's see. All right. So if you have any questions, now's a good time to ask your questions. And as always, if you come up with a question, you're watching the replay afterwards for my replay viewers, you can still ask questions over in the Facebook group, Game Changers Lounge. And it's just for women. However, if you are a male, don't want to leave you out. If you have questions, you can reach out to me on Facebook. Just personal message me and I'll answer your question that way. All right. Want to get everyone taken care of. So if you don't get to ask your question here, you don't have one at the current moment and you have one later, feel free to come to the after party. Ask your questions there. And I'm just waiting because sometimes it takes a minute for questions to come through. So let's see. In the meantime, between time, don't forget to share the challenge. Share it with your peeps, right? You can share it via Twitter, LinkedIn, wherever you at. I gave you the link, bit.ly, bit.ly, paid profit first. So it's bit.ly, paid profit first, right? bit.ly/paid profit first. You can share it wherever you're at. If you're on Periscope, you can share it right from there. That'll be awesome. Hey, and if you're sharing it that way on Twitter, Periscope, use the hashtag Audacity to Profit. Okay. If you're sharing it via Facebook, tag me, Felicia Streeter. If you're doing LinkedIn, you can tag me, Felicia Streeter. Instagram, you can tag me, Felicia Streeter. That way I can join that conversation with you guys. All right. And welcome the people in. And as well as recognizing you for sharing, because I appreciate that. All right. Also, if you're not a part of the challenge and you are watching, make sure you go join the challenge. Why? Because next week you get a bonus webinar where we're going to dive deep into 3 areas of what we covered this week where we're going to actually get the work done. We're going to actually get it done, make it happen. I'm all about that. Taking action, leaving with something tangible that you can, just take off and run with it. Okay, so that's what the webinar is going to be about next week. If you're in the challenge, you'll get an email invite and you'll have all the information about the webinar. So just make sure you sign up for that. And if you have any other questions, bring them. Now's a good time. If not, we're going to close out. I'll give you another second. I'm doing a little dance here because I know sometimes it take a minute for the questions to come through. And sometimes I can't see them. They go so fast. Okay. All right. Well, no questions. We're going to close out. If you come up with questions later, come over to the Game Changers Lounge. The after party happens there. Ask your questions. I'll be there to answer them. If not, I will see you back here tomorrow for the final day, day 5. All right. Other than that, have an awesome day. Make sure you go back, watch the replays if you have not, and do the things you need to do. You have some daily prompts in there, some action items, some steps to take. Go make it happen. All right. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Have an awesome day. Bye-bye.